MMA Boxing Talk here, coming at you with another video. I just want to put out a video talking about UFC 200. Today, they just got a newest addition to that UFC 200 card. Miesha Tate will be defending her bantamweight title against Amanda Nunes at UFC 200, of course. I'm guessing that'll be the co-main event right before McGregor Diaz rematch. Now, I just put out a video actually earlier on Amanda Nunes fighting Miesha Tate, and a couple minutes after I uploaded it, I noticed that it was official, so I changed the title of the video saying it's official, but actually it was right before when I made the video. It was right before they announced it officially. Anyway, so that's a huge fight. You got the bantamweight title, the women's bantamweight title on the line, so that's awesome. But I just want to talk about this card real quick. So obviously Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz, the rematch will be the co-main event, McGregor Diaz 2 will be the main event. I assume Miesha Tate versus Amanda Nunes will be the co-main event, and before that, it'll be Jose Aldo taking on Frankie Edgar, and the fight before that should be Cain Velasquez taking on Travis Browne. And the UFC main cards, normally there's 5 fights. Sometimes a free event there'll be 4, but a pay-per-view event there's either 5 or 6. So UFC 200, maybe they'll put 6 on the main card, but let's just assume they put 5. That leaves one more spot open for another fight in the main event. Because like I said, you got the Diaz McGregor, you got the Tate Nunes, you got Aldo Edgar, you got Velasquez Browne. So, like I said, one more spot. You could either put Joe Lozon versus Diego Sanchez. That'll be a huge fight, an awesome fight for the fans, a dog fight. There's also Gegard Mousasi, who's 8th ranked, against 11th ranked Derek Brunson. That's going to be a good fight as well. And then there's also Johnny Hendricks taking on Kevin Gastelum. Johnny Hendricks ranked 5th in his division. And also Takanori Gomi versus Jim Miller. So if I were to guess, Johnny Hendricks, Kevin Gastelum would be that last fight added to the main card. Just because, Johnny Hendricks is the most well-known fighter, I would say, because he's still an elite fighter. He's still top ranked, highly ranked. Joe Lozon, Diego Sanchez, as much as they're fan favorites, they're not ranked fighters, right? So we'll see. Maybe the UFC will rather Johnny Hendricks, and Gegard Mousasi, those 2 fights, be on the undercard, to even things out a bit, and maybe we'll see Joe Lozon versus Diego Sanchez opening up the main card. That would be pretty cool, I think. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that card. There's so many good fights. I mean, McGregor Diaz too. Some people are, they're not interested or whatever. But let's be honest here. That first fight was phenomenal. We're gonna see a second one, so that's exciting. Let's not kid ourselves. 196 UFC 196 broke pay-per-view records. So this one's it's gonna break it on top of that. It's UFC 200 to begin with. You got Diaz McGregor rematch. I mean, what more do you want? And then in the co-main event, Miesha Tate defending her title against Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes, if you listen to my video before this one, Amanda Nunes would, I would say, be the 5th best bantamweight in the world. You got Tate, Holm, Ronda, Kat Zingano would be 4. Kat Zingano has a win over Miesha Tate and also Amanda Nunes, both stoppage wins. So Kat Zingano has to be 4th, and I would say Amanda Nunes is the clear-cut number 5th ranked fighter. So this is no slouch. Miesha Tate's going to be defending her title against Amanda Nunes. Very fast, very powerful. She does tend to gas out in the later rounds. The 5 rounds will be tough for her. She'll be looking for, I think, an early finish like normally. But like I said, like the 5 rounds will make, it'll definitely be Miesha Tate to her advantage, the 5 rounds, and she'll definitely be the heavy favorite, I think, in this fight. And Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, I mean, that fight is huge. Now, of course, you have all these people. They're disappointed. They're bitching. They're complaining because of all the, interim belts. There's one for the John Jones OSP, and there's also an interim belt for Frankie Edgar, Jose Aldo. Now, I understand that one, because it's not like McGregor's injured or inactive or whatever. He's fighting in other divisions, but he's just not defending his title at 145. But that's okay. I think there's nothing wrong with that. They didn't even have to put an interim, though it is true, because the winner, it's pretty clear that they fight McGregor next. So you don't need an interim, but they're going to do it that way. So whatever. But that fight's massive. Jose Aldo had a close fight with Frankie Edgar in their first fight, I mean, shit. I would say Frankie, won the fourth and the fifth round in those fights. Jose Aldo, typical, sort of coasting at the end of the fight in their first fight back in 2013. And that second round was close. That could have went either way. That was a very close fight. And Frankie Edgar has really only gotten better since. He's on a fight win streak. He's just been dominating. Where when Frankie Edgar first fought Jose Aldo, he was coming off 2 losses. So he lost 2 times to Benson Henderson at 155, moved down to 145 and fought Aldo right away for the belt. So this time he's coming off 5-fight win streak instead of having lost twice. And Jose Aldo has really had a slow decline ever since 2013. So Jose Aldo's not the same fighter he was 3 years ago when they first fought. So I'll be favoring Frankie in this one, I think. But that's going to be a dog fight, a scrappy fight. That's going to be a really, really good one. And then Cain Velasquez taking on Travis Browne. Awesome heavyweight fight. Cain Velasquez, #1 contender. Travis Browne is a top-notch contender in that division. So that's going to be a great one as well. I'll be favoring Cain, but you never know. Cain's been very inactive lately. So yeah, those are the big 4 ones, the big 4 fights. Everything else is basically bonus, and there's a lot of other good fights, like I was mentioning earlier in the video. But anyway, I just want to put out a video talking about this. It's awesome news. I mean, UFC 200, it really is, on paper what it was advertised. The way it was advertised, they're backing it up. They have a great lineup. They're doing it for the fans. And it's going to be a great event. Now that's July 9th, so don't miss that. That'll be on pay-per-view. You can't miss it. It'll be a huge event. And then the night before, you got UFC Ultimate Fighter Finale 23 season. Joanna Jędrzejczyk will be fighting Claudia Gadelha in a rematch. They fought back in 2014. That was a crazy fight. Go check that one out. Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Claudia Gadelha won. Their first fight was crazy. Joanna Jędrzejczyk got the split decision win, but it was very close. So this rematch will be awesome. I think both fighters have improved. I think Joanna's improved maybe a little bit more, but we'll find out for sure. And that's July 8th. So that Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Claudia Gadelha is the day before UFC 200. So lots to look forward to. And then, of course, all the huge pay-per-view events leading up to UFC 200. You got UFC 197 in March. John Jones fighting OSP. Demetrius Johnson defending his title. And then in May, you have that stacked UFC 198 card. With Fabricio Verdum, heavyweight champion of the world, defending his title for the first time. And then, in June, we have UFC 199 with Luke Rockhold defending his title for the first time in a rematch against Chris Weidman, who he took the belt from in December of last year. We also have Dominic Cruz defending his title, his bantamweight title against Uriah Faber. That'll be a rubber match. Very interesting stuff. First loss of Dominic Cruz's career came to Uriah Faber back in 2007. They rematched in 2011 when Dominic Cruz was the UFC champion. Dominic Cruz beat Uriah Faber in the rematch, and now they're having the trilogy rubber match. So that's at UFC 199, and then the next month, UFC 200. So let's do it. We have a lot to look forward to. If you like the video, subscribe. MMA Boxing Talk. Peace.